Hello, welcome back. I've been gone for a while, but we're back. So, I want to talk about emacs because, well, let's just get right into it. Emacs is a cool program. It does cool things. There are so many things you can do with it. You know, you take a look at the stock configuration of, say, like Doom Emacs. That's crazy. The stuff you can do with org mode, entangling source code files as like comments inside it and everything. That's awesome. I want that. But Emacs is hard to use. It's bad. It's the control the default key bindings will give you carpal tunnel. The language is not simple. The default interface is cluttered and unintuitive. Like, I mean, it's got all those buttons at the top. Like, but then you look at what you can do with it, what people have done with it, and it becomes this huge, like, it becomes like the ideal Vim GUI, but it's not. It's just emulating Vim, and it's so weird to see. And I can understand why someone like Luke Smith, like, does not want to get into Emacs. Like, straight up, all the people who are into it are way too into it, and he doesn't see any reason to become a part of that world. I also could totally see where DistroTube is with it, where he found like a pre-configured distribution of Emacs, Doom Emacs, and he just stuck with that because it was comfortable and he can do all the cool Emacs stuff in it. Like those are both absolutely valid positions, I think. Where I'm coming from with it is, I want to do it myself. I don't have enough ingrainedness with Vim. I mean, Vim is really cool and I'm into it, but I'm not ingrained enough in Vim to not be able to do things another way. I just like that other way to make sense, and I'd like to be aware of how it works from the ground up. You know, like something like Space Vim, I guess. That's just not appealing to me. You know, you gotta work up, do all of the things, learn a little bit of Vim script in your config file, build your own color scheme based on what you like to see on the screen, and kind of work your way up. And with Vim, the defaults are decent, well, with NeoVim at least, defaults are decent. So you can just do that. You can straight up have a good editor and then make little tweaks and build on top of it gradually. And through that process, you've got a good editor. And at the end of the process, you've got a slightly better editor. It's just perfect for you. Well, whereas with Emacs, you start with something that's kind of garbage, but there's a lot of potential, but it's wasted by the cluttered interface, by the unintuitive hand straining keybinds. There's a lot of bullshit in Emacs, frankly, in the default configuration, and then you want to try and fix it. Well, okay, how do you install? Well, you've got to add a custom repository to the built-in Emacs package manager just to get Evil working, and then even then, every now and then when you start Emacs up, it may or may not work. Sometimes Evil just fails to load, or like it won't work. Like one of the things I always thought was cool about Emacs was that it's inherently a GUI program. It's designed from the ground up to handle images and rich text formats, so such as Markdown and org and stuff, obviously. So theoretically, you could edit like a docx or something in there, which would be really nice. That's the dream, right? To have, a seamless text editing experience. It can render plain text, it can render advanced text, and you can do all of your extensibility things in there. You can have all your Vim stuff, you can have all your emacs stuff, and you can edit like Word documents. At least that's my dream. But you kind of can't, because a Word document is a docx file or an XLSX or a PPTX, the PowerPoint and Excel. Those formats, they're just a zip with a bunch of XMLs in it, and you can edit the XMLs within the zip. Emacs will take care of unzipping and rezipping it when you edit the XMLs, and it can show a preview, but it's like navigating up and down in it, at least in like stock Emacs, is a pain, of course, because everything in stock Emacs is a pain. And then Doom Emacs, there's probably like 500 ways to do it, and all of them are worse than the next, and all of them are worse than the next. Like, how, I just, I'm not sure what I'm saying here. I guess it's one of those things where there's definitely a happy middle ground to be reached, but I'm too lazy to reach it at this point, and I don't have enough time. I'd like to reach it. I'd like to be able to reach it. I'd like to have time, but I don't. And it's hard to mind that because some of the obstacles you have to go over are just horrendous. It's stupid. Using Emacs is stupid unless you get to where it's great for you, in which case using Emacs is great. Emacs is the perfect editor, but it's a garbage program. It's garbage defaults. It's just kind of What can I say? Truly, this is the paradox of Emacs. Alright, rant over. Thanks for watching.